Hey everybody, it's Jessica DeMassa with What's the Future Health? We are talking to the who's who of health tech and healthcare innovation. And today we are diving into the mind-blowing mental health merger between on-demand mental health company Ginger and mindfulness and meditation company Headspace. So here to help us unpack this merger of equals are CeCe Morken. She is the CEO of Headspace and will be the president of the combined entity. And Russ Glass, he is the CEO of Ginger, and he'll be the CEO of the combined entity, which they are calling Headspace Health. So happy to have you guys here. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very excited.
Yeah, I am so excited. I am so excited. I'm going to need a meditation app after this for sure. And so is everybody who's coming along for this ride. So take a deep breath, you guys, because I want to unpack every bitty bit of this because this is a big deal. And I want you guys to explain to us exactly what kind of a big deal it is, but some of the details around this merger, right? So like I said, merger of equals, both of your companies have raised about 220 million each, right around there. Total valuation for the combined entity, 3 billion. Looking really good. 800 plus employees in the combined entity. This brings you guys into like 190 countries. I mean, a combined scope of services that we are going to dive into. But CeCe, let's start with you. Talk to me about why this merger between your two companies is so important right now.
Well, Jess, thank you. First of all, about half of us have a mental health condition or will have one in our lifetimes. And as you well know, most of that goes undiagnosed and untreated. And we think about this as every one of us has mental health. It's just a matter of where we are on the continuum. Headspace has been in the area of prevention and promotion for mental well-being, and Ginger has been more in the curation and management of conditions. And when we work with an enterprise or one of our members, both of us were starting to be pulled down this continuum either way. And so if we could come together, we could be that solution, that platform that helps people throughout their life to develop really good routines. And our hope would be we can help improve the health and happiness of many more people.
All right, Russ, we'll add to that, please.
I mean, I think CeCe nailed it. From a more macro perspective, we just see this as a moment in time when the world has so much need. And as you know, because we've talked a number of times, Ginger is very focused on the supply demand imbalance. How do we get more care to more people more quickly? How do we reduce the cost of care? And we realize that prevention is just an absolutely critical part of the equation. We have to get people thinking about their mental health earlier. And as we looked out there at who's doing that well, Headspace by far is the one doing it with real science, the one doing it in a thoughtful, health-driven way, and has just created these elegant experiences that their members love. And combining that with the depth of healthcare capabilities and the range of coaching to therapy to psychiatry that Ginger can provide at low cost and high quality, it feels like just such a home run for being able to deliver this to more of the world.
All right, I cannot wait to talk even more about this because especially diving in on that whole, Ginger is so focused on selling into employers that then provide it to their employees. And then Headspace has a really robust direct to consumer business. I want to get into that, but before we do, can you tell us a little bit more about how this is going to operationalize? So, I mean, we have the combined entity Headspace Health. Are the two businesses going to be running separately and independently to start out, or is it going to be a merge to begin with? I mean, talk through a little bit of that for me, CeCe. How is this going to start? What is this going to look like in the near term?
Yeah, and it will evolve over time as any one of these would do. But in the near term, we're bringing together the go-to-market teams so that our enterprises can have a single experience and we can start to provide this solution to them on that continuum that I just referenced. So go-to-market will come together right away, starting tomorrow. So we're excited about that. The product teams will continue to operate independently. because we both have products that need to have, tight focus, but we'll bring a small team together to start to work on the integration. So we want to get some basic integration out there pretty quickly, again, to support people going from mindfulness into coaching and therapy. And then as we learn and evolve and start working together, we'll determine what the next steps are.
Russ, what does this look like from the Ginger perspective in terms of that integration? So it's like, is Headspace content going to be referred out like, starting tomorrow, like CeCe says?
It'll evolve over time. I mean, like CeCe mentioned, the real near-term focus is making sure that our 2,700 plus enterprise clients can get a full continuum of experience, and their employees, our joint members, have a continuous journey and a measurable journey, and one that is personalized to the individual. And one of the things we love about Headspace is that when Headspace is brought into an enterprise, 25% plus of that enterprise uses the product.
Wow.
That's an incredible amount of utilization. And it's far higher than Ginger's utilization, which is usually around 10 to 12%. So again, you bring these two things together, and now you have much more of the enterprise using it. You can contract on one piece of paper, which is a huge deal for enterprise clients because they have so many point solutions today. And you have this continuous, elegant journey for members that we're trying to create. And we are thrilled about that possibility.
Russ, let me ask you a little bit more on that enterprise side of things. And then CeCe, I'll come to you to talk about the direct to consumer, and then we can talk as a group about how this all works together. But on that enterprise side, Russ, this puts you guys into 2,700 different health plans and enterprises around the world. So say a little bit more about that, because this is going to be, especially the globalization of this solution for you guys on the Ginger side, that's new. So what does that look like in terms of like the types of services that we know you guys as providing, more of like the coaching or the therapy and things like that? How does that work?
Today, Ginger is providing support in 50 countries around the world, but it's mostly been contracted from the United States. So
okay.
Our team has mostly been selling in the United States and supporting companies who have employees everywhere. Headspace, on the other hand, has a global remit today and is available in 190 countries. They have an international team that's out there selling. So, mental health is a global problem. It's not just a problem in the United States. And if you look at our vision, we want to be a company that democratizes mental health care globally and provides the most accessible, most comprehensive solution for people around the world. And so this combination greatly accelerates our ability to do that.
And CeCe, I read in the press release, 100 million lives are going to be touched by this combined entity. And a lot of those are through the direct to consumer access that folks have to Headspace. So say a little bit more about that. You guys are a beloved, direct to consumer mental health brand. So talk to me about like what this looks like from your perspective.
Yeah, so, we started as a direct-to-consumer offering, and the whole goal was to make mindfulness and intentionally mental health approachable. And it's just very easy and inviting to get into it. And one of the things that we do to promote the approachability is shows like Netflix or Sesame Street. So you see us off platform and you see us on platform, and that's what's built this really strong brand. But a few years ago, we started moving also into the enterprise space. And so we have over 2,000 enterprise and health providers today. And what Russ referenced when he talked about the adoption, it's the brand of Headspace that causes that adoption to take place, which is why this unity is so incredible. So we'll continue a very strong focus on both consumer and enterprise. And over time, we'll begin to provide the Ginger solution, even in the direct to consumer segment, which is going to be just fantastic.
That's going to be awesome. Okay, very cool. All right, great. I love hearing the roadmap, like in whatever little pieces and shadows we get it. So, this space, I think it's really interesting because, I've been following this digital mental health space for a while now. And in particular, these last 2 years with the pandemic and, this clamoring for different virtual options for care in a time when people have been just more stressed out, experiencing a wider range of mental health, conditions in a different way. And just the demand for these types of services is skyrocketing, and I feel like there's, the field out there, there's a lot of competitors who are trying to do similar things. So, I mean, we look to the market, you see Lyra Health, you see Talkspace, which just went public at the beginning of this year via a SPAC. There's Happify, there's Calm, like there's a lot of different solutions out there. How do you guys feel that this combined entity is really going to be differentiated against the pack of everything else that's out there? And I only named 4 companies. There are numerous more. So CeCe, I'll start with you. Like, what is the secret sauce that this new Headspace Health is going to bring to the table?
If you look at the problem that's out there, and by the way, there's so many companies because this is such a real problem.
Right.
You look at the issues, at least that Russ and I and the teams are focused on. One is the stigma around mental health, the availability of coaches and therapists, and affordability. And so the way we're looking at this is when we combine these 2 companies into a single platform, and we are leveraging science, so there's strong efficacy in what we're doing, an incredible breadth of content. So, in the Headspace area, we have everything from meditation to how you eat, how you sleep, how you move and work out, how you deal with stress at work, with your family, with COVID. We take all of that content and then we apply the data that we will have where we can deliver these very personalized experiences across the continuum. So it starts to develop routines for people. And when you need just self-directed care, that's what you do. When you need a coach, you leverage a coach or a therapist. And we believe that this combination together, coupled with science and data, is going to allow us to give really personalized experiences to a unit of 1, and then start to learn by collecting different types of signals so that those personalized experiences get stronger and stronger every day.
Ooh, I'm coming back for that. Do not think you're off the hook there. But Russ, I want to see if there's anything else that you wanted to add in terms of that differentiation, that this combined entity is really going to bring to the table.
Ginger felt that we had strong differentiation as a standalone, 24/7 real-time access to care, really the low cost solution in the marketplace while maintaining a high level of quality, a really reduced stigma approach by letting people access care via chat in a lower friction kind of a way. So when you look at that differentiation, we see ourselves continuing to focus on those core attributes and differentiators, but then expanding this incredible prevention platform, this ability, again, to get people into an experience much earlier in their journey, allow them to build resilience, build these routines that last a lifetime. And when they need more care, Ginger is going to be there for them. We're going to have the ability, or the Ginger capabilities will be there for them. And that continuum, it feels like what people need. It feels like what the world needs, to have these capabilities accessible in an affordable and comprehensive way.
All right, CeCe, I'm coming back for that data. Let's chat. So I'm curious to know, okay, so I mean, thinking through it, right? So you guys have everything now in your scope of services that takes somebody from meditation, mindfulness, all the way through to therapy and everything in between, coaching, self-guided, cognitive behavioral therapy type things, everything all the way along through. And I love what you said about collecting that data on both the personal level and the population level. And so I'm curious to know, as you guys work in this combined entity to make and I don't know if this might be premature, so just dream with me here. As you guys are looking at, making the experience more personalized, and you're looking at the data you can collect, and you're looking at the population level, what kinds of things are you hoping to learn? Like, what are some of the things that you hope you can bring then to the new digital mental health experience by having access to these 2 different layers of data and having the ability to, roll some of this up into, identifying trends, but also being able to hyper personalize? Like, what do you hope to learn?
You know, both of us had very similar strategies, which was we're both leveraging things like AI and ML to learn about somebody's behavior and their preferences, and whether or not we've made an impact on what they came to us to solve. And so we look at it and say, how can we leverage that technology to get you to the outcome you're interested in as fast as possible and make really strong recommendations? When you combine that across both of our companies, we've got those things that are self-directed as well as coaches. A couple of things start to happen. We can determine what's the best level of care at the lowest price, so we can keep this cost super low and make this affordable to absolutely everyone. But we can also leverage data to help clinicians and coaches be more effective, because we can feed that data to them as well and, you know, make the human even better. So we both had a similar strategy. And I think when we bring this together and we have even more access to data with permission, we can, and signals, because there's now ways to get signals without someone even having to give you information, we can actually start to deliver incredible personalized services and bring down the cost of healthcare.
And this isn't just, you know, pie in the sky future thinking. You know, Ginger today is already predicting the content that somebody is going to get use from based on the chats they're having with coaches and automatically presenting that content. We're already doing things like smart replies, helping coaches respond with what we predict the best response to be to help that member. We're doing things like automatically summarizing coach notes so that they don't have to take all the time to summarize notes. They can just review an automatic summary and slightly edit it if they need to and just submit it. So all of these things that lead to more scale, more cost effectiveness, more personalization and efficiency, now take that and 10x it with the amount of usage and data and capabilities, again, in a HIPAA compliant way. Super important that privacy is a part of this, but that Headspace brings to the table. When you bring that together, it really accelerates roadmaps to take these current capabilities and supercharge them, force multiply them.
Okay. Is there any, and I hear what you're saying, and I love this. Is there any plan to pursue development of any type of digital therapeutic in this space? And I have to ask because some of our health tech faithful might remember Headspace Health as being a carve out from Headspace to focus specifically on developing a digital therapeutic that would be FDA approved. It started out in mindfulness, and I believe the things that it evolved, and it was a focus on migraines in the end. But, you know, I'm curious to hear about, like, if there are any plans to use some of the learnings that you're going to be able to glean from watching people undergo mental health treatment, and maybe use that to develop digital therapeutics that could aid along the way. I mean, CeCe, what do you think?
You know, we learned a lot from the work that we did with Headspace Health and the work we did with meditation and migraines, and actually is part of the reason that the two companies came together, because we learned that meditation and mindfulness actually does have a measurable impact on stress, anxiety, signs of depression, those types of things. You know, whether or not we decide to pursue digital therapeutics, FDA approval down the road, those are things we'll learn together.
All right, Russ, what do you think?
Agreed. I love the combined name Headspace Health. I think it really brings together the best of this wonderful and highly respected and beloved brand in Headspace, but then rightly, adds the healthcare aspect that Ginger brings to the table. So the combination just feels so right. And the fact that Headspace already had the Headspace Health brand is terrific, right? So we're elevating it, we're making it the core.
I love it. Although I have to say, I was sad to see the IO go from Ginger, and now no Ginger either. A little sad about that.
What do you think? Headspacehealth.io?
Oh yeah, there
it's
you
probably
go.
available.
There
I would imagine nobody has bought that.
Well, not anymore, Russ. Oh, that's too great. All right, so I have to ask this last question, big question, to end this out on you guys. Is this the move before the big move to the public market? Russ, are you headed for an IPO or what?
we are focused on helping as many people as we can. And, if that means that public markets are the right strategy, then we'll certainly pursue it. If it means that, we think that we're going to get to more people more quickly with a different strategy, then we'll pursue that.
Watch me do this. This is like when you don't get the answer you want from dad and you go to mom. So CeCe, what do you think, IPO?
I think Russ answered it perfectly.
That too was exactly like how my experience went asking my parents for things. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. This was a fun chat, and thank you for letting me ask all the questions that I'm sure everybody out there has about this merger. So exciting. I mean, we love watching these moves in the digital mental health space because it really does, whether it's a big funding round or something phenomenal like this merger, it really, the outcome of it is going to help so many people who are dealing with these issues. And so it's just exciting to see. But thank you both so much for stopping by and letting us be among the first to talk to you about it.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here they were, the leadership team from Headspace Health in one of their first interviews. How exciting is that? The CEO of the combined entity, Russ Glass, and its president, CeCe Morken. So thanks so much again for joining me. For those who want to check out more interviews with the who's who of health tech, please head on over to YouTube. The address is youtube.com/WTF Health. I'm Jessica DeMassa. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks again for joining us, and congratulations again, Headspace Health.
Thank you.
Thank you.